going on, guys? And welcome back to another episode of The Green Zone, the most elevated sports podcast. If you guys like what we got going on here, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Be a friend, tell a friend, share it with someone, pass it along to them, and drop something in the comment. Give us some ideas of what you guys want us to talk about in the future, or if you guys liked what we're talking about here, let us know down there. We'd love to hear what you guys think. Now, let's get into the episode.
Now introducing, by way of Minneapolis, Minnesota, they are the purple people leading. Skull Nation, clap your hands for the 2024 Minnesota Vikings.
That's right. We're talking Vikings today by way of Minnesota. Vikings. What an interesting offseason the Vikings had. If we had to put a staple point in this, Vikings probably have the best coaching staff in the NFL. Kevin O'Connell is a head coach. Brian Flores is a defensive coordinator. Kevin O'Connell is definitely an offensive-minded coach. Has been successful with multiple different quarterbacks. I mean, he made Kirk Cousins, a 10-11 win quarterback for most of his career in Minnesota. And found a way to win with Josh Dobbs last year pretty successfully. Going into this season, they where to start? Quarterback. I guess quarterback. We can talk about head coach a little bit here and Brian Flores, because I do think that is the focal point of the Minnesota Vikings is their coaching staff. They are kind of on point when it comes to that. The quarterback situation is interesting. Coming in, they signed free agent Sam Darnold, who played on the 49ers last year as a backup to Brock Purdy. Sam Darnold was originally drafted by the Jets and was never really given a fair chance in the NFL. Definitely fucked up his chance with the Jets. Did not play the greatest. Had the quote saying, "I'm seeing ghosts out there." Not the best thing you want to hear from a quarterback, but he was also young and he was learning, and he didn't really have an offensive mind around him to help him generate a consistent offense. Struggled massively and then became quote unquote the perennial backup. I believe he went to Carolina after that. They gave him a chance to start, but then ended up benching him. And then after that went to, was it San Francisco right after that? I think San Francisco right after that. Now he is signed with the Vikings, given the Baker Mayfield treatment, like the Bucs gave him, basically saying, here's the franchise, here's the keys, we built a roster around you, go fucking win it, see what you can do. It's a tough choice. And we want to talk about quarterbacks. They also drafted out of Michigan, JJ McCarthy with the 10th overall pick, and that is why we're sitting here talking about them with our 10th episode. Was it the best draft pick? I don't think so at all. You'll see in the Broncos episode, because we actually recorded that one previously, that we discussed very, 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 very heatedly about Bo Nix. And in my opinion, JJ McCarthy is nowhere near the quarterback that Bo Nix can be in the NFL. JJ, he's long, he's lanky, he's light. He wasn't the focal point of Michigan's offense. Their pass game wasn't even a dominant one. They really relied on their run game and their defense, and I don't know if he is a quarterback of the future. Maybe he has a little bit more skills that we weren't able to see in college, and things will change. But what I'm seeing right now, that fool's going to end up being a bust or a backup very quickly in this league, and it's just not even close. He just doesn't have it. He doesn't have an overwhelming arm. He's fast, but he's not like, oh my God, he's not Lamar Jackson fast. He's not shifty like that. Kind of a reach pick. You want to talk about a reach pick? I think Bo Nix is much less the reach pick around JJ McCarthy, but I think he gets a lot of praise for winning the national championship last year. But I do think Sam Darnold, on the other hand, gives the Vikings a very feasible chance to win this year. Does that mean win the division? Probably not. Does that mean get a playoff spot? I mean, if they're very, very, very lucky. But let's talk about the rest of the team that's centered around him, because, like I said, signed Sam Darnold. They also signed a new running back, Aaron Jones, from the Packers, which is an interesting pickup. Aaron Jones' health has been a bit of a concern. Hasn't been playing the best when it comes to staying healthy, but when he's in that game, man, fuck. He makes things happen. You saw it last year in the Packers playoff run. He was definitely a big focal part of that. Robert Tonyan, also from the Packers, tight end. They signed Shaquille Griffin, who's been hopping around a few different places, but been a very serviceable cornerback in the NFL. Jerry Tillery, defensive lineman. Jonathan Greenyard, outside linebacker. Andrew Van Ginkel, outside linebacker. Jahir Ward, outside linebacker, and then Blake Cashman, a linebacker. All veteran presence, been in the league for a good amount of time. Gives their defense that kind of stable point to say, hey, they may not be the best defense in the NFL, but they're definitely not going to be the worst. And especially under the tutelage of Brian Flores, I think they have a chance to be maybe top 10. It just depends on how they were able to put it all together, because it's all new. It's a lot of like new chemistry. They kind of completely redid their whole linebacking core. For the longest time, they had guys in there like Eric Kendricks, Anthony Barr, and now it's something completely different. But Brian Flores, who I think was unfairly fired by the Miami Dolphins and should still be a head coach in the NFL, but isn't, to be fair, is not, is a great defensive coordinator to have in the NFL. They didn't really make any trades in the offseason. They did let go of Kirk Cousins. They didn't re-sign him this year, and he went to the Falcons. You guys saw that one in the Falcons episode. That one was a fucking heater. They also got rid of or didn't re-sign KJ Osborne. They have, they re-signed Jay Jettis to a 4-year contract, as we saw recently, highest paid player outside of a quarterback in the NFL, making $35 million a year. God damn. But then they also have this young and up-and-coming Jordan Addison. He was a rookie last year, played really, really, really well, and has a chance to flourish even more this year. Like I said, Kevin O'Connell coming in, he's an offensive-minded genius. He's definitely schemed up an offensive arrangement that has made the Vikings at least recognizable in the NFL. They go into any sort of game, and there is a chance they could win. We saw it a few times last year, even without freaking Kirk Cousins. When he tore his Achilles, they still found a way to squeak out some games. I think they were pretty competitive coming into it. I think they finished like 7 or 8 wins, which isn't great, but it's like, given the circumstances, no Justin Jefferson for most of the year, no Kirk Cousins, you still find a way to kind of turn it around. Fuck. Maybe they didn't do that good. I'll have to double check their record. But yeah, Vikings finished 7-10. I mean, fuck, man. You couldn't really ask for more. They're getting better. They rebuilt their team. They're coming into the season saying, hey, we're going to try to win it with Sam Darnold and see what we got, and then see what we got with JJ McCarthy. If we fucking fuck up, we can go and draft another quarterback next year. Which, is it the best strategy? No, AB might agree it's better than freaking taking Kirk Cousins for a 4-year contract and drafting Michael Penix. That could be a whole different discussion that we probably will get into in a different episode, because some shit will always get brought up and get argued about. But you know how that one goes. Or you'll see how that one goes. They're playing in a very, very tough competitive division. Lions, Packers, Vikings, Bears, all in the NFC North. Last year, Bears went 7 wins. The Vikings went 7 wins. Packers went 9 wins, but dominating the playoffs, damn near made it to the Super Bowl. We're this close to making it to the freaking Super Bowl, almost beating the freaking 49ers. And then the Lions, who also, same sentiment, where had a chance. They had a chance to make it to that Super Bowl. Did I say Super Bowl for the Packers? NFC Championship, excuse me. And then Lions had a chance to get there as well. They just flamed out the last minute, couldn't find a way to turn that bitch around, find a way to get that last minute win, but it doesn't mean that this year will be any harder or any easier. The NFC is definitely turning up. They're trying to stay competitive with the AFC. There's just a lot more firepower in the AFC, but this NFC North division, it's a banger. It's a freaking banger. There's too many good teams. And I think there is a good chance that we could see all 4 of these teams in the playoffs this year. The dark horse is definitely the Vikings. Only because of Caleb Williams with the Bears. I mean, there's just no way that people are going to be putting the Vikings as a higher win percentage with Sam Darnold as quarterback than they would with Caleb Williams, because they do believe. I mean, I'm hearing it over and over again. I mean, like I said, they won 7 wins. A good quarterback that comes in should be able to give you another 3 wins, right? So Caleb Williams should be about 10 wins. Same thing for fucking Sam Darnold. But Sam Darnold clearly is not held in that same sentiment as an all-star or perennial quarterback. We'll see what happens. I'm excited to see what happens. They have a tough, 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 tough division to compete in, which likely means their schedule is freaking not easy. Vikings have a tough schedule, very tough schedule. I mean, luckily they kind of open up with the easy one with the Giants, but the Giants always find a way to be a little sneaky in the beginning of the year. So we'll see what happens about that. Niners, Texans, Packers, Jets, Lions, Rams, Colts, Jaguars, Titans, Bears, Cardinals, Falcons, Bears again, Seahawks, Packers, Lions. That's just tough. Uh, they could win 4 games. They could win fuck, I don't know. I really don't know. The Vikings are a dark horse team, in my opinion. They are. I've said that about a few different teams, but I think they truly are a dark horse because no one really knows what they're going to be. A lot of people are very high on Kevin O'Connell as an offensive coach. And Brian Flores, like we talked about, is definitely a good, solid, defensive-minded coach. They got to turn it up, though. They got to bring the fucking heat if they want it because Vikings fans, they're loud, they're in bunches. They're going to bring that fucking heat. They get angry. That's Skull Nation, man. They definitely bring the energy to that building. But if the Vikings ain't bringing it, they're gonna hear it. They're definitely gonna hear it. They're definitely gonna hear it for that crowd. They're not gonna be happy. Draft picks. We talked about JJ McCarthy first round. Uh, they also took Dallas Turner. They had 2 first-round picks. Dallas Turner, edge from Alabama, definitely a great pickup. Can Dallas Turner be Danielle Hunter, who they lost as well? Yeah, TBD. That's a stretch. Danielle Hunter is a very solid player. He's consistently paid. Unfortunately, only given 1-year contracts repeatedly, but he's paid 20 plus million almost every year. Since his rookie deal, you know. And then in the 6th round, I thought this was an interesting pickup. They also drafted Will Riker, SEC leading quarterback, kicker in the SEC. One of the best kickers, one of the most consistent kickers to ever do it. Had a bit of a struggle last year, surprisingly, when he's been very solid the previous 4 years. But definitely, nevertheless, kickers usually account for the most points on your team. So you want to make sure you're getting a solid one and a consistent one, and we'll see if he can perform in the NFL. It'll be fun to see. Talked about areas of strength. I mean, shoot, like we talked about Jay Jettas, wide receiver and tight end core, that receiver group. They got Jay Jettas. They got what's that fool? Jordan Addison, and they also got TJ Hawkinson, who's an insanely good tight end. Like they're putting a solid team around Sam Darnold to give him the chance to be successful. He's got the keys to the Mercedes, man. Can he drive it properly? That's going to be the real question. And I'm excited to see where he can take them. Like realistically, the Vikings could be a 10-win team if there's a chance. They have a tough schedule, but it's not like they can't find a way to win. They're going to be scrappy. They're going to be tough. They're going to be physical. There's probably going to be a stronger emphasis on the run game with Aaron Jones. Not to say that that's going to be their main emphasis, but I think there's going to be more of a hey, we need to run the ball first, pass the ball second. But when we pass the ball, we're going to make some fucking big jump plays. There's going to be some deep balls. There's going to be a lot of freaking big chunk plays made in the pass game. The only real weakness is cornerback. I mean, they don't really have the strongest secondary help. I mean, areas concerned overall secondary. You got that fool Harrison Smith at safety, and he's just getting older. He's slowly but surely. He's still very dominant physical player, that's what I'm saying. I think that defense is going to remain physical, but he may not have what it takes to continue to be that for much longer. Um, the rest of the thing I got written down here is really just can Sam Darnold perform? That's going to be the main question. We're going to see what happens there. Excited to see if he got it. Excited to see if he still got it. I mean, good arm, smart brain, just makes some bonehead mistakes. Accuracy can be a little shaky. We'll see. Is JJ the QB of the future? That's another TBD. We'll hear how training camp goes. I saw somewhere that he's only the 3rd string right now, which may be fair. Might need a little bit more time to build his confidence. Maybe by the end of camp, he's taking over at 2nd string. Maybe that. Probably not, but that's just my opinion. And then health. I mean, a lot of the players' health has been a concern. They just got to stay healthy. If you stay healthy, you got a chance, man. Vikings, you got to bring it.
Minnesota.
All right, we're not We're done with that. We're done with that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, we'll call us one early, make it easy. If you guys like this content, please consider liking, subscribing, hit that notification bell. We'll catch you in the next one. Have a great day. Go smoke some fucking weed. Happy Juneteenth and peace.